What's up guys, MJGB here, bringing you another Call of Duty gameplay commentary. Today we're playing some combat training on Veteran, just for a change, and I'm running the AUG with Sleight of Hand, Flak Jacket and Marathon, and I'm running my non-lethal kill streaks, which are Spy Plane, Counter Spy Plane and Blackbird. So today the first thing I wanted to talk about was to give you a few tips about how to do well when you play combat training Veteran. I've played it quite a bit, so I'm kind of used to it now, so I just thought I'd pass on some tips in case you wanted to try and play it. And if you have any tips for me that I don't cover, then just let me know. I'd love to know, because I do want to one day try and get a flawless Veteran gameplay on combat training. I know it's impossible, but I want to try it. Anyway, my first tip would be to find a good, solid, fast-firing weapon, like the AUG. I use the AUG because it's a good, solid, fast-firing weapon. It is a very good weapon, and it's good at close and long range. It's got a very good fire rate, which is the main thing when you have a weapon. You need it to be strong, you need it to have a good fire rate, because the AI is deadly accurate, and so you need to be able to put as many bullets into them as fast as possible in order to try and kill them. Otherwise, you're just going to get owned and just leave them with a bit of a red bruise all over their screens. My second point is to camp. I know it's a legitimate strategy which isn't very well reputed in the online world, but when you're playing against the AI, it doesn't matter. They're not going to bitch back at you for camping. You camping little faggot! They're not going to be doing any of that, because the AI doesn't really care about that. They are like the rushers. They'll just wander about the map, just going into every nook and cranny. So if you can camp, set up a little defense, put a claymore on like the exit, then you have a good chance of being able to take out enemies from cover. As you'll see, I tend to hang at the windows because I've got cover, which allows me to absorb a bit more damage. It lets me survive a little longer. I have the back area covered by a claymore, so that I know when somebody's coming to flank me. And then I have Flak Jacket running, so that when they chuck grenades and stuff, I can absorb some of the damage, so that I don't have to keep on like setting up new little areas. I can just try and stay in one place. My third tip is Flak Jacket, because they will frag and grenade you constantly. If you play on the lowest difficulty, then all they do is just shoot at you. But as soon as you go up, then they'll start like throwing concussions, flashes. They'll definitely start fragging you and semtexing you, so it's highly recommended that you run Flak Jacket. Otherwise, you will find yourself blowing up time to time. My next tip would mainly just be to practice. Now, I am running 9 enemy players on this game, so you do get overwhelmed quite a bit, but just try doing just 2 or 3, or say 5, and inviting one of your friends to be on your team. Just get used to like seeing what weapons you need to be able to hit them, see what weapons you need to be able to keep them at bay from long range, short range, and definitely work with your secondary. Say I tend to run either a pistol for if I run out of bullets, or the crossbow, because with the crossbow I can get a spawn kill or 2. And it also helps when you're trying to blow up cars and stuff, because on Nuketown, if you blow up that car and there's a few people around it, that's a few easy kills. So they're my tips for doing well on Veteran. So if you'd like to use them, if you can tell me if they served you well, tell me if you have any of your own tips that I could use, because it is a tough little like mini game, you could say. And I want to try and keep on getting better at it, see if I can completely ace the AI, because I've played against some very good players, I've played competitively, but nothing compares to the deadly accuracy of the AI that knows where you are because they're instructed to by the game. So, apart from that, I wanted to talk today about your favourite games of all time. Now, I know this is very subjective, because the best games in the world, they're always the same ones, and whilst I agree with some of them I don't like, some of them I've not played, I'm not interested in. So I wanted to know, or I wanted to let you know, my favourite games of all time, and then I wanted to know your favourite games of all time. So not the ones that you think, oh, all my mates love that, but the ones that you put the most man hours into, the ones that you had the most fun, the ones that you remember from your childhood and you had the good days playing them. So I'm personally a fan of FPS games, strategy, simulation, so you'll be able to see from my list what sort of games I like and what sort of player I am. So, my top 5 games of all time, at number 5 would be Pokemon Yellow, because those 3 Pokemon games, Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, they were my first Pokemon games, and I love them dearly. But Pokemon Yellow, just for the fact that you started with Pikachu, so you got to like I felt like Ash Ketchum. I'm there just like, yeah, I've got a Pikachu. I'm going to go get laid with Misty. And the fact that you could get Blastoise, Venusaur, and Charizard. Because obviously you got the 3 pre-evolutions, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. And it was just amazing to be able to have Pikachu, Blastoise, Venusaur, Charizard, and just be like, I'm a Pokemon Master. Because you know that when you're like 6, I don't even know how old I was, 5, 6 or whatever, you wanted to be the best Pokemon Master ever, and it was just so much fun when you'd have all those top Pokemon. Number 4, I would list Championship Manager 0102. I'm a big fan of football management games, and those games in particular, or the Championship Manager 0102 game, was so simple back then, especially compared to nowadays. But it was so fantastic. It was so easy to play, so easy to get addicted to. You just sit there for ages, just enjoying taking control of Manchester United or taking control of Stockport County or whatever local team I wanted to pick. And just being able to play football, but without doing any of the physicalness. Because I did used to play football competitively, you know, as a youngster. But this was a bit different. I got to use my mind a bit more because I like thinking games. I like games where you need to put a bit of thought into it. That's why I'm a fan of RPGs. I like that sort of thing. At number 3, I would put Call of Duty 2 and 4 because I couldn't really pick between them. Both of them I've loved thoroughly. Call of Duty 4 was arguably the best this gen FPS that the Xbox and the PS3 have seen. It's a very good game, but Call of Duty 2 was my first FPS, and it was fantastic. I mean, there's nothing like storming Stalingrad, there's nothing like doing D-Day, you know, all those memorable missions, because I think it just makes it a bit more, like, powerful to be playing a mission or be playing a game where the setting and the details are real. Because, I mean, you're fighting a horrible, a very horrific war against one of the most powerful forces in the world, and you don't really realise it until you have a quick think, this actually happened. So the horrors of war are like really demonstrated, which I know sounds a bit morbid, but you just think, wow, this game's just, yeah. So I do like Black Ops and I do like World at War, and Call of Duty 3, the less said about that the better, but the Call of Duty 2 and 4 were definitely the best. It's too bad Infinity Ward ballsed it up with Modern Warfare 2. In second place, the runner-up prize, I would give that to Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds, which is a game that I'm sure most of you have never even heard of. Now, I had it on the PC, and I now have it on Mac, and it is my favourite strategy game of all time. If you've ever played Age of Empires or Command & Conquer or anything like that, then you'll be familiar with the way that it works. You take your faction, and you collect resources, you build armies, you fight, you have diplomacies, all that. Except for with this game, you took over a Star Wars race, so you could be the Wookiees, you could be the Gungans, you could be the Naboo, you could be the Rebel Alliance, you could be the Galactic Empire, you could be the Trade Federation, you'd have Destroyer Droids, you'd have Stormtroopers, you'd have Bounty Hunters, you'd have Jedi, Sith. It was bloody fantastic, and I had so much fun playing that game. I only wish that it had come out nowadays, because when I used to play it on dial-up, obviously strategy games take hours to conclude, so I'm playing on dial-up, and then by the time I'd built a good base, somebody would ring my house and the bloody game would end and kick me from online. So it was a bit of a bitch in that respect, but it was a fantastic game, and if you can still get it, the graphics are quite poor now because it's 10 years old, but it is still a fantastic solid game to play if you like that sort of thing. And my number 1 gold medal championship prize, thank you white boy, this one goes to another Star Wars game, Knights of the Old Republic, because that is without doubt my favourite, and I would hesitate to even say that anybody who's played it would recommend another RPG over it. It's one of the best RPGs ever, mainly because of its use of a very unique combat system, or at least in regards to console RPGs, because I know that some PC RPGs have that sort of combat system, but there's nothing better than creating your own character, turning him into a Jedi, being able to control his, what's it called? Basically just his morality, his sense of good and evil, and being able to enlist your own friends and just basically traveling the galaxy. So those are my 5 top games of all time, with notable absences including Star Wars Battlefront 1, that was a great game, Red Dead Redemption, and Mario Kart 64, and of course GTA San Andreas. So let me know in the comment section below what you enjoyed and your favourite games, and as always, please like the video, comment the video, favourite the video, and subscribe. Until next time guys, take care.